So the first word is acute angles. And what are those? Angles between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. Yeah, so that's why they're between. Okay. Second word is a right angle. What's a right angle? 90-degree angle. So you know that a right angle is exactly 90 degrees. You have to have these memorized because you will not have a cheat sheet with this stuff on it for the test. What's an obtuse angle? Angles between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. A straight angle, or an 80-degree angle, okay, so then we'll have 5 new ones. The first new one is complementary angles. Complementary angles. Kind of a long word. No. Complementary angles are two angles whose sum is 90 degrees. What is a sum? When you add them up. So two angles, when you add them up, equals 90 degrees. So complementary angles are two angles that you add together that are 90 degrees. Yes, you are correct. Supplementary angles are two angles whose sum is, yep. The next one is a linear pair. Nope, those are congruent angles. Two angles formed from a straight line and a ray coming off that line. This is a linear pair. They have a straight line and then a ray that comes off of that straight line. So they look like that. We'll get to it, Blake. So a linear pair are two angles formed by a straight line and a ray coming off that line. Now, how many degrees are in a straight line, a straight angle? On 180. So a linear pair always adds up to what? 180. A linear pair will always add up to 180. So a linear pair, it will be supplementary. So some of these words go together. Okay? So a linear pair comes from a straight line and a ray coming off that line. Vertical angles are opposite angles formed by intersecting lines. Like angles 1 and 2. And what happens is vertical angles are congruent. We say congruent in geometry class, but they're equal. They're the same size. So if one is 40 degrees, the other one's 40 degrees. So vertical angles are like angles 1 and 2. They're formed by intersecting lines. They're opposite angles. They're opposite from each other, formed by intersecting lines, and they're equal to each other. Yes. Not always, because there could be some right angles there too. But usually you're right. There's two obtuse angles and two acute angles. $12.02. Okay. And finally, adjacent angles. Angles that share a side and a vertex. So they're next to each other. So Anthony and Ben are sitting adjacent to each other. They're sitting next to each other. So adjacent angles are next to each other. They're beside each other. Okay? So those are the 9 words that you'll need to know for the test that you won't get definitions for. You'll need to know them. Okay, so now today's worksheet. So you'll have these written in your notebook of what they are so they can help you on your worksheet, or you have them on a piece of paper or something to help you on the worksheet. No more than 12. 22. All right. Oh, you're not done yet. Yes. It shouldn't be too hard if you have the notes.
You know what this comes from?
No. What are you two doing? Are you good, Gito?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. What's the definition of that?
Two angles formed from a straight line and a...
So what is it called?
Oh,
This is a linear pair. So if this is a linear pair and this is 67 degrees, what is this? This is what you'll get asked today. Well, how many degrees is a linear pair? 180, because it makes a straight line. So what do you do with your calculator?
180 minus 67.
180 minus 67,
132.
which is 113. Or is it 123? No, it's 113. 113. Okay? All right. Okay, what do we have there? Vertical angles. How big is a missing angle? 48 degrees. Okay? That is 48 degrees. Okay. What are these two angles together? They add up to 90, so what types of angles are they? Besides adjacent. Complementary angles. Two angles that add up to 90 degrees are complementary angles. If this one's 37, what's left for this one? 53 degrees. Okay, that's 53 degrees. Okay, do we have a linear pair or vertical angles here? No, these are just three adjacent angles. Three adjacent angles. Now, how many degrees, if you think about this, they kind of form a circle here, right? How many degrees are in a circle? 360. So to find the missing angle, you take 116 plus 127, 243, and then take 360 minus 243 is 117. Look at that geometry skills that you guys have. Makes no sense. What do you mean makes no sense? Okay, here's a triangle where this is 112 degrees, and I want to figure out this angle. Now, what are these two angles called? A linear pair, because they're part of a straight line. Straight lines are how many degrees? 180. So what's left for the missing one? 68 degrees. That is what's missing. Okay. Let's say I wanted to figure out what x is. Now, what types of angles are these? Vertical, because they're opposite of each other, so they're vertical angles. Vertical angles are equal to each other. So how do I figure out what x is? Set 5x plus 2 equal to 22. Set them equal to each other. How do I solve for x? How do I find what x is? Minus 2. So 5x equals 20, and then divide by 5. X equals 4. Okay. These two angles are what? Complementary, because they add up to 90. So if these two add up to 90, to solve this, to figure out what x is, we take 5x plus 4 plus 36 and set it equal to 90. Now, I got to combine like terms on this side. When I combine like terms, what do? Add these two together. What's 4 plus 36? 4D. Then what do? Minus 40. So 5x equals 50. And then divide by 5. X equals 10. So we're going to do some algebra today too. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of algebra today. It's not that bad, Mr. Eggsdale. All right. Okay. I've got a circle drawn here, which means there's 226 out here, 44 here, x plus 20 here. So how many degrees is x? So all of these should add up to what? 360. X plus 20 plus 44 plus 226 should add up to 360. So you combine your like terms first. So we add these three together. 20 plus 44 is 64. 64 plus 220, or 6, is 290. And subtract 290. So x is 70. Okay? All right. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So you're going to have to write down some words when you see what types of angles you have, and then you're going to have to solve for basically x and figure out what the missing angles are. Okay? All right, there you go.